We're back now at 8:21. This morning on today's Parenting, how to talk to your kids about the death of Osama Bin Laden. Dr. Gail Saltz is a psychiatrist and Today contributor. Robyn Silverman is a child development specialist. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning,
Let's set some parameters here. What age group are we talking about? At what age is too young to even broach this subject?
I think under 6, the subject is going to be broached, if at all, in a very elementary, bad guy, had to punish him kind of way. I think a lot of the themes that this story is about is really for the 8,
10,
7,
12
above.
Years old, right?
Exactly.
Do you sit down with your kids? Do you approach them and say, I want to talk to you about something? Or do you wait for them to come to you and start asking questions?
You want to take your cues from your child, absolutely. But if your child is starting to relay behavior that seems abnormal, they're eating a lot more or a lot less, sleeping a lot more or a lot less, or acting out or being very quiet, then there might be something wrong.
Also, let me say, for the 8, 9, and above, they're going to hear about it, because at least they're going to hear about it in school. It's become a part of history, and so I think it's reasonable, if they're not saying anything to you, to say, have you heard about this and what are you thinking?
You say, both of you think you should avoid oversharing. You pick your age group, look at your kids, figure out where they are individually in terms of maturity, and then stick to the facts.
Absolutely. We are a culture of oversharing, and they're going to see more probably than you want them to anyway, but you don't want it to come from you. So ask them, what do they know and what questions do they have, as opposed to downloading all the information.
Some typical questions. This one's from our viewers. I talked to my girls about it. They are 8, 10, and 12. They asked me why he was killed and why they didn't just put him in jail where all bad people go. How do you answer that question?
I mean, it's a tough question, because that's what we're taught, that they should go away. But we need to help them see that while this guy was alive, people were frightened about what he could do next, no matter where he was. So the people who were in charge of the safety of our country made a decision that he couldn't be alive.
And this kind of plays on that, but takes it to the next step, Gail.
Exactly.
Your children are going to see, and have already seen, people in the streets celebrating about the death of someone, and that's a contradictory image for them.
Absolutely. Very disturbing for them. Why are people partying and being happy that anybody was killed? I think it's really important to talk about this, because what you saw was a lot of people who, in the impulse of the moment, reacted in a way that later on they may not be happy about. In other words, the question of, what is the difference between justice here and revenge? These are the kinds of, because this is a conversation really about moral development that you're going to help your child with. So do they feel right about people partying and smiling and looking happy? Does it look different enough from recent pictures we've seen of what went on in Egypt and so on? I think those are the kinds of, and I think it's fine for you to say, I don't think they should be celebrating, if you don't, or I think they were celebrating because of their patriotism.
Robyn, let me try this one on you, and I don't have a lot of time left, but it seems as if in the very near future we will either see a photo or not see a photo of the body of Osama Bin Laden. Your children are going to be possibly exposed to that photo, and it's going to be disturbing to them. They're going to have questions. How do you handle it?
You wait for them to come to you, limit media exposure as much as you can, keep routines similar, and be available to your children as much as possible for their concerns and their questions.
And always, when you're having these discussions, try to emphasize things like open-mindedness and tolerance
So
and things like that.
Say that this man looked a certain way doesn't mean that everybody who looks that way is a bad person.
That's important.
Absolutely.
Gail and Robyn, thank you both very much. We're back after your local news and weather.